Hi guys, welcome back. Today is class 6 of the master's class. It is still very much at the beginning. And the happy news is this week I got the newsletter up and running. So you will be able to get your color kits. And this week's color kit will be color kit number 6. Remember that color kits are free. All you have to do is sign up for the newsletter in the link in the description. And don't forget to verify. You can't get on the list if you don't verify your email. It's part of the program. So today's class is going to be new colors. Now remember, I will announce which colors are our spotlight colors. And today's spotlight colors are going to be the darker colors, and I'll tell you about them in just a second. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the book. If you don't have the book and you want the book, the link is in the description box below. And you're going to get out page number 114, 118, 119, 128, and 131. Okay? These are your darkest colors in your pencil sets. Now, this doesn't only run for Prismacolor. This is going to be for most pencil sets. There's really, unless they come up with a different color, these are your darkest color, and they're common named colors. So we're going to be studying Umber. And in the Prismacolor set, you have light umber and dark umber. We're going to study Sepia. Espresso may only be in the Prismacolor set. You have to look. We will give the description and you'll be able to recognize it if whatever other color pencil set you are working with has this color. And you're going to be working with black. A lot of people think these colors are interchangeable. They look similar when it comes to the pencils. When they go down on the paper, they can perform similar functions, but not good functions. By the time we are done today, you are not going to get these colors confused anymore. I'm going to teach you a really, really easy way to remember which color goes for what purpose. We're going to start off today with a very quick grayscale lesson because we're going to need this. Grayscale is the value system. It goes from 1 to 10 to 9 and sometimes 1 to 10 depending on the system that you are looking at. It is your value. How dark is your color? Now, if you take a look at the grayscale sheet and you look at these apples are recognizable as an apple. If I turn these apples purple, would they not be an apple? No, they'd still be an apple. Color is probably the least important thing on your paper. You can goof up your colors and your picture will still look like what it is supposed to look like. Many times you're going to hear me say, or any artist say, make your darks dark and your lights lights. That's your value system. How much light are in each one of these pencils? So when you stretch out your values is when your pictures begin to pop. It's when your value system stays within this. And those are the only values on your page. Your page becomes very blah. Nobody's going to be like, oh my gosh, this is a wonderful picture. It's not going to have depth unless you span your value system. Black being 9, white being 1. So if I say to you, I am going to increase the color value, you know I'm making it darker. If I am lowering your value system, we are going to be down going towards 1. And that's as simple as it gets. This scale will be included today in your color kits. Now we're going to look at some of these colors, and you're going to get these out of your books. And the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to fill in your swatch. Now remember, these are special swatches. They are colored. Don't do them fancy. Color these in until you varnish them. Means you fill up their tooth. You don't need to make it light to dark. We want to see what this color is in its truest form, and that's in filling up the tooth. What this is going to show you in that little face in the middle is how transparent the color is, and you're about to see, just surprisingly, how different these pencils are. Now, when looking at light umber in comparison to your dark umber, you see how you see the face a lot less in the darker umber? It's not just because it is a darker pencil. You could have transparent dark pencils or translucent dark pencils. One has nothing to do with the other. This is a more transparent or translucent color. That's the light umber. And then you have the dark umber, okay? On the light umber, you could see it as a brown, and you can definitely see it's leaning towards yellow. When it comes to the darker umber, let me get this up. You're going to see it as a brown tone, which it is. You could see it's brown. The undertone starts to lean towards gray. This is very important. And then down at the bottom, you have it is a cool temperature and it is a muted color. It means it is not black. It still has the brown and it gets mixed with the grays. It becomes muted, and this is what you get. Now you have sepia. Sepia is also a dark color, and we're going to look at it in comparison to the dark umber. They both are dark. They both are browns. The dark umber is leaning towards gray, but you have to remember this is the sepia is leaning towards a more golden red. And I know that it doesn't look red, but it does have the red in it. Remember, some of these colors have hidden undertones, and this would be one of them. So you have to be careful about making mud when there's a hidden undertone, but it's clearly marked in your books. You just look at it and it's there. And then there is the last one, espresso. This is also a brown leaning towards gray. Where is your brown leaning towards gray? Your dark umber. But you could see, if you look closely, dark umber, even though it is a very dark color, and espresso is very opaque. You can't see through it, which is also going to be very important a little bit later on in this lesson when we start using other colors with these. Dark umber is a very good color for using with other colors. Espresso is not so much. Espresso is good for creating depth. And when I want you to think of them as kind of like brothers, okay? They're very similar in tone. They're not similar in opacity. And then there is black. You could see black is almost all opaque. Most people look for their blacks by its opacity. You want it to be dark. It doesn't always mean it's got good color saturation. Sometimes cheaper pencils that don't have really good pigment in them may come out a little bit more translucent, but a good black should be opaque. It should be void of light. You really can't see through it. It covers up the black lines, and it is a neutral color. It does not affect pencils one way or another when it comes to the undertone. It is temperature neutral, and it's a vibrant color. It means that there's nothing else that's more than this color. So now let's get into some of the differences between them. And this is where this lesson takes on a whole other light. For all intensive purposes now, we're going to be working with umber and sepia. And the reason I'm going to say this is I'm going to go back for just a second. When you think of black, I want you to think of the black hole. It doesn't have light in it. And what does it do? A black hole sucks life out of a picture. This is one of the reasons why you really shouldn't be putting black in your artwork. Not in this form. A black pencil is good for a teeny tiny pupil. It's good for, and even that is iffy. The darkest reaches of anything you would use black, and maybe in some Halloween pictures. One other is it is good for rendering silver, and we'll get into that when we get into silver. So black, while I talked about gold and bronze having very little artistic value when it comes to, and I'm talking about the pencils, not the colors, to just put them away or give them to your kids to play with. They don't play a very realistic part in art. Remember, the pencil's not the color. Black, it plays a part, but not so much. A lot of people reach for their black way more than they really should. You shouldn't be creating black backgrounds that are realistic using your black pencil. There is much better ways of creating black backgrounds. As soon as you put black in your background will immediately turn flat. Remember, it's the life sucker. Think of the black hole. And what a black hole does to light, it sucks it right out and nothing can live in it. That is what your black pencil is. So we're going to put this away for now. We're going to revisit black many, many times because there are purposes for black, but for the purpose of this lesson, we're putting it away. Umber versus sepia. We're going to group now our light umber and our dark umber under umber. So that takes care of those pencils. So what I'm talking about with those two pencils, I'm talking about now under the broad category of umber. Sepia, we're talking about the pencil sepia, and in the Prismacolor set, espresso. So let's take a look at some of the differences and what you're supposed to use them for. They're both dark pencils. The one biggest difference between the two of them, and we're going to give all your reasons that you use this, all your reasons you use this, and the one thing that comes together is going to be your value. Remember I said your tonal values to one and to the other. The tonal values would be probably in this mixture, and they're equal for both umber and sepia. Dark is dark. This is the same amount of darkness in both the pictures, whether you use 6, 7, 8, 9 being black. This would, depending on the pencil, it would be 8, 7, or 6, and they're equal. And this is the number one reason why people get these pencils confused. Dark is not dark. Dark could be many different things, but a lot of new people think, oh, I'll just pick up my darkest pencils, and they pick up these pencils. Now we're going to talk about the differences and the uses for each. Dark umber. You're going to think of dark umber for its nature qualities, okay? You're going to use it for tree bark, for browns in animals, for leather, wood, when you're rendering wood, brown hair. You're going to use umber, and shadows that are warm. Sepia, on the other hand, is used in dark photography, like an old picture. You would use sepia. Deep cracks in things where it's way down in there. A weathered wood look, inky style drawings, deep eye sockets, cool shadows. So where you would use dark umber, it would be warm shadows. Sepia would be used in cool shadows. It's the way the colors react to each other. Those are two of what you use these pencils for, and they're very different purposes. This is in today's lesson color kit because it's that important. Now, how are you going to remember all of this? And that's where I have this sheet, okay? You're going to remember sepia, S-E-P-I-A. What are you going to use it for? S-E-P-I-A. S, space. If you ever wonder when you're doing like a space background or a very dark night sky, what do you use? And you pick up either the umber or you pick up either the sepia. It's always going to be sepia. Why? Because umber has too much brown in it, okay? Not enough gray. And if you pick up umber, it looks more like smog. And the colors in it are also going to react with other colors, not a pretty way. You're going to create a dirty sky. And the way you're going to remember this is S, space, umber, U, under. What is under the sky? The earth. Umber is your earthen colors. Sepia is your space colors. E, eye sockets. P, picture frames, pictures. Or if you're going to do an old portrait that you want that old 1930s, 1940s look, that's sepia. In fact, there's a whole photography way of doing things called sepia. Inky things and your antiques. S-E-P-I-A. The most important one is being space. That's where you're going to get your skies and your background. You're going to always use your sepia. Umber, U-M-B-E-R. U, under the sky. U. What is under the sky? The earth, the trees, dirt, brown hair. Well, Mother Nature with the M. B, brown hair. E, earthy, things that are earthy. R, rich soil. So here you have a way of never getting them mixed up. You just think sepia, oh, I remember S space, umber, O, U, things that are under the sky. Does it mean that you can't interchange them ever? Pretty much so. Umber, do not put this in the night sky. This color doesn't exist in the sky. So now you're going to remember both sides. Next week, we're going to take a much deeper dive. I told you with this class, we're going to go deeper. So this is, say, your level 1 between sepia and umber. Next week, we're going to take a look at sepia and go way deeper. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.